When you start your own business, you think this is going to be it forever and ever. And then at a certain point, you realize, this might not be it. I might want to change my audience. I might want to change actually the thing I'm doing. Or I don't know what you want to change, but it can be really difficult to make that pivot. I made a pivot and I transitioned from fitness coaching to business coaching, and I didn't do that overnight. So in this episode, you're going to learn how I communicated to my clients that I didn't want to work with them anymore respectfully, how I made sure that I killed my offers on time but not too soon, and how I created a financial buffer as I was growing as a business coach. Hello, and welcome to the Fast Forward Amy Show, the show where we talk about how you can lift your life and business with simple strategies. I'm Fast Forward Amy, your host and coach, and I'll bring you a new episode every Tuesday. You're getting annoyed by your clients. You are feeling stuck in your business. You don't like waking up to work anymore, but you used to really love what you do. You're starting to feel guilty about the fact that you worked so hard to build a business, and right now you might feel like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing anymore, and my work isn't giving me energy back anymore. The passion might be fleeting, you might be feeling more tired about your work than you wanted to feel because you wanted to feel energized. And all of these things might sound familiar to you if you're feeling stuck in your business. I know this because I used to be you. I used to really love my job as a fitness coach. I had amazing clients I was working with, but the emphasis is on job. I never look at my current work as being a job, but I did used to look at that as a job because I was really stuck in my business. But this episode is not about working in or on your business. It's about really doing what lights your soul on fire. Or as my own coach Sarah would say, does it make your heart leap? The moment that you feel like in your business, it might not be making your heart leap anymore, that can come with a lot of mixed feelings because you can feel like I'm not supposed to feel this way. I worked too hard to get here. I'm finally in a stable place. I'm finally getting paid well by the hour. It might feel really weird that you are all of a sudden not satisfied anymore. And maybe you want to grow into something else, a different specialization, or maybe you just want to, instead of being a therapist, become a personal trainer, or instead of a graphic designer, become a photographer, or whatever. In my case, it was switching from fitness to business coaching. This is episode 88, and if you want to read all of the tips that we're talking about here, you can simply go to fastforwardamy.com/88. And today we're going to be talking about how I pivoted from fitness coaching to business coaching, how that went for me, which mindset struggles I had, and in the end, how fast I did it or how not fast I did it, and some of the decisions I made along the way. First up, how do you know that you need to be switching? Well, I think there are certain indicators like what I said earlier, not really being energized when you wake up. Feeling like you have a full client roster and not getting excited, but already being exhausted just thinking about it. Sometimes it's just an indication that you have someone on your roster that you don't want to work with. Like in my case, I started noticing after a while that on a certain day, I didn't look forward to my day, and on other days I did. I realized that had to do with my clients. By the way, I have an episode on that next week. But sometimes it can just start to feel like you kind of wore yourself out in your business, or you start to feel like I did, that you don't want to explain to people how they should squat for the rest of your life. I really loved fitness coaching. I learned a lot from it. I spent thousands of hours coaching people one-on-one in fitness, and that also taught me a lot about those people as humans. But after a while, I realized my passion was not in fitness. My passion was in coaching, and my passion was also in my target audience, because the clients I loved the most were ambitious women who were struggling with their confidence, and I started working on that with them. And along the years, I learned not only do I not want to teach people how to squat for the rest of my life or count exercises for the rest of my life. That was what I was doing at the time. But also, I just felt like, a lot of people were coming to me with a different need than the need I was offering a solution for. Because I had built a fitness business offline without the help of social media, and I kept getting questions about how to start as a personal trainer, how to start building up a wait list, how to get people to buy from you. So I started listening to those needs. All of a sudden, I was answering more questions about business than about fitness. And I dealt with a lot of imposter syndrome, because in the fitness industry, it was really common that fitness coaches became business coaches because they weren't successful as a fitness coach and they thought, you know what, I'll just start making money as a business coach. In my case, that wasn't the case. My business was really successful and I had a business degree. So I had the validity to start business coaching, but I felt like I wasn't allowed to because I also had a so-called friend at the time who was like, no, you shouldn't do that. And like, it's very inauthentic and blah, blah, blah. And she kind of discouraged me from it. She was like, you should just stick to the thing that you know how to do and do that. And more people in my environment were like that, like, oh, but your business is running well, you shouldn't aim higher or you shouldn't raise your prices. And I felt like something was itching, because I could feel in my core that there was more, and not just more in terms of money, but I could make more impact by helping other trainers build up a successful business, people who worked with great ethics, because they could then impact more people. And they were ultimately really, really passionate about fitness, and I was really, really passionate about self-development, about improving, about coaching. So I thought, you know what? Right now I can help 30 people a week. That way I can help 30 people a week who can help 30 people a week, and that's 900 people if you would multiply all things. I don't know if that was correct. So, yeah, I wasn't fully sure though. I was like, should I do this? Should I make the switch? How will I do the switch? Do I need different Instagram accounts? How do I go about this? And I started asking for advice, which was probably my first mistake. You just shouldn't do that. And it wasn't until I got the right advice from my coach, actually, and she realized I wasn't passionate anymore about what I was doing, or not as passionate as I used to be. And she helped me help me out in seeing how I should communicate this to my existing clients. Because what had happened to me was I felt like I was stuck in my business. I felt like I wasn't allowed to say, hey, on Fridays I'm not seeing clients anymore because someone had a fixed slot on Fridays. So I had kind of pushed myself into a situation where my clients were the boss of me instead of me being the boss of them. And it didn't feel good. My business was really running me instead of me running my business. So I decided to put a stop to working with most of my clients, not all of them. And she helped me to actually tell all of them. And I think I also sent out an email. This is a long time ago. And I basically just stated my decision. Whereas in the past, I would have been like, I'm so sorry. I think I want to do this and that. And she helped me out by stating a decision. She was like, you just need to communicate your decision without any feelings and thank them for the lovely time you had. So I was like, I have decided not to continue fitness coaching anymore. This will start as per March 29th. I want to thank you for the amazing time we had in the past. Warmly, Amy. And my inclination back then was like, probably was a little bit more elaborate than that, but whatever. My inclination was like, should I refer them to someone else? Should I say sorry? Should I insert feelings? Should I be like, I can still create an online program for you? And she was like, no. It's a business decision. It's not a personal decision. It's a business decision. It's your business, so it's your decision. And you just need to communicate your decision without any feelings. You can be respectful and appreciate them for all of the weeks and years of their time and money they spent with you in your business, but you've already paid your dues. And you're allowed to make your own decisions regarding the future of your business, because they won't make it for you, and everyone will ultimately do what's in their own best interest. So I stated my decision. I talked to all of them in real life. I put a date on it, a deadline. It's always good. I did not say I'm sorry. I didn't insert, I think I need to rest or whatever. I just said, I have made a decision. Bam. And the right clients reacted very, very positively. The right clients were fully understanding. Of course, they thought it was a shame, but they also knew that I had a lot of unfulfilled potential at that time. They knew I had a lot of big dreams and that there was a lot of entrepreneurial things I still wanted to do. So they were very understanding. And the people who were less understanding, well, they probably didn't respect me as much as a person, and they more saw me as a commodity anyways, probably. So what was really difficult for me was not making extra promises, which is very typical when you're in a service-based business. You always want to over-deliver. You're a people pleaser. If you're anything like me, you're always like, oh, but I can give you that. Or someone texts you and you respond too late and you're like, oh, I should go and over-deliver and over-compromise. You don't need to do that. You are fully in your own right to change which direction your business is headed in. You are in your own right to not work with a certain person anymore. You are in your own right to change what you do, to change your prices, to change target audience. You never need to apologize for a business decision, but you do need to communicate it clearly. So what happened is I wasn't fully sure that I was stepping away from fitness coaching yet. I was actually going to online coaching, and I just stopped in-person coaching. But what really helped me was realizing that I could always go back. It's not like I burnt any bridges with my clients. I could always go back, and that was kind of like my buffer, because I knew I had a good enough clientele to, if I decided I wanted to go back to fitness coaching, they were there or they knew people, and I had a good name, a good brand reputation. And what I did then is there were 2 clients that I kept seeing because, well, one of them was someone that had just been through a really hard time, and I really didn't want to just like up and leave them. And someone else was a very, very loyal client. So I talked to them and I decided like, okay, so every Friday I'll still see you and I'll still do fitness coaching. So for a really long time, even while setting up my online business, while setting up even my business coaching business, I still saw those clients because it gave me the opportunity to still see them and still do what I liked, and also to build up a buffer, a financial buffer. I think too often we think that it's all or nothing. People are like, you should quit your job, you should cut all ties. It's not true. It's perfectly fine to just like do less of something, to go from full-time to part-time. It's not an all or nothing thing. It doesn't make you weak to want to have a financial buffer. You don't want to stay in that space forever and ever. But I feel like if you take the big leaps and still keep some type of safety net, for me that was really necessary. I also didn't have anyone or anything to fall back on financially otherwise. So I did that, and that helped me ease into my new path. I went from online coaching and having more time available, graduating, to then also offering more on business coaching. And then I was still stuck, because I still had fitness lead magnets, weight loss stuff. And not only did I not feel passionate about it anymore, I also didn't agree anymore with the things that I had put out in the past. But I was also like, but there's good money in there. So I had this crisis of conscience, because I was like, there's really good money in there. I grew my Instagram based on fitness and fat loss, and I felt like I was throwing away a lot by not doing anything with that anymore, by not making money anymore that way, because I knew how to make a lot of money with it. So what I decided then was that I wasn't necessarily going to throw it away. I was just going to keep it, and it was still going to be on my website. It was going to be online, but I was going to focus more of my active effort on the business coaching side of things, because I kept getting questions about that. And I was like, you know what, everything else, I can still see if I want to do stuff with it. And then sometimes it would pop up and I would feel momentarily excited about launching something or doing something. And then I realized, you know what, it might just be more of a lifestyle thing that I want to share. And what I really want to sell and coach in is actually the business coaching side of things. So I tried to not listen to any of the guilt my environment put on me, people who were like, you can't raise your prices, you can't change what you're doing right now because it's finally set up and it's finally working, or stuff like that. I really listened to how I really truly felt. And what I felt, and one of my core values is authenticity. I felt like I cannot fully stand behind this anymore. This is not fully aligned with who I am. And it felt really stupid to throw it all out, but I realized I can always go back because I still have my reputation, my name, and I can redirect people for the time being to other people. For a time I was like, oh, should I take a commission on it or not? Just don't make it too complicated for yourself. Just redirect people to other people. What goes around comes back around, abundance. And I was going to take what I had learned from that and insert that into my new business. What I never did is from one day until the other just said like, hey, now I'm a full-time business coach and not a fitness coach anymore. Yesterday I was a fitness coach, today I'm a business coach. I think that's kind of like assuming if you eat at 7:59 p.m. you will not gain weight, and if you eat at 8:01 p.m. you will gain weight. It just doesn't happen like that. And for me, it happened really, really gradually. And I think over time, because I didn't cut all ties, it made me feel really safe. And it allowed for me to have the financial stability to grow into that new person, that new business owner that I was becoming. And over time, I forgot that the stuff was there. Over time, it became easier to also tell those clients I was still seeing, hey, I'm also stopping this because I'm going full time for that. I sold my fitness equipment, and it became easier to, after a while, unpublish the products in my shop about fitness and fat loss, to unpublish some of the email sequences. And because sometimes I still got sales and I was like, this is weird. That's not supposed to happen. So over time, I have started to eliminate the traces of the fitness coaching stuff. And now actually after a few years, I've refound my own joy in fitness stuff, and I've started working out again in a way that really makes me happy. And I've rediscovered that passion. But it took me a really long time to get back there because I went too far back then. And I think going too far was ignoring who I truly was. Fitness was always a passion of mine. I'm really happy what it taught me. And I will always remember what Sarah told me. She was like, you've always been a business coach. You just did fitness coaching for a while. And I thought that was really beautiful. So you might be a visual person and you just did graphics for a while and now you're becoming a photographer. You might be a photographer who did marketing and now you're doing photography. You might not be ready yet for your next step, but the beautiful thing is you're never starting over. That's the beauty about doing your own thing. You are continuing to grow and evolve into even greater things. And you're taking all of those learnings from your previous paths into that new thing. So don't be apologetic about it. Embrace what you want to do, but also leave some room for that buffer. It's okay. You don't need to quit your job and do all or nothing. You don't need to cancel all of your clients. But what you do need to do is you need to have self-respect. You need to value your own values. For me, that was authenticity. So I could not sell something I didn't believe in anymore. Authenticity is, for me, it's also about just, the self-respect of giving myself that chance. You might be feeling right now like, oh my God, I can't change because I've put in 2 years of my work into this or my time and energy. But you still have so much time to go. So why not take a chance and realize that you can always go back. But if you don't take the chance, you're not going to go forward. I hope this was a little bit inspirational. And if you're feeling like you want to take that new leap and you want to do it the right way from the get-go, you want to build up a new reputation, a new brand name for yourself, you want to start a new business that's fully profitable from the get-go, or you have a business right now and you want to work with clients you love more and let go some other parts of your business that you don't love doing, I truly, honestly, openly want to invite you to my Business Freedom Elevator. Tomorrow we are opening our pre-order doors. That means that 100 people from the waitlist can get in at a €500 discount. If you've been ogling it for a while and you feel like this round you really don't want to miss it, make sure you're on the waitlist, fastforwardamy.com/elevator, so you get an invite so you can join as one of the very first people and grab the bonus that we're offering and the €500 discount. I hope that you are feeling a little bit inspired and that this can help you to pivot in your business, to get unstuck and to feel more confident in the next steps that you're taking. I know it can be scary, but I promise you it will be all right. You'll learn a lot more from doing that than from postponing your dreams. If you're currently working on launching something new, I have something for you because with our company, with Team Fast Forward, we have done launches of over $500,000, over $1 million. And I think it's safe to say that by now we've learned a thing or two about launching. So I created a 10-step launch list for you so that you can see when you are launching your new product or service if you're actually doing the right stuff and not forgetting any key items in your launch. You can go and grab it for free through fastforwardamy.com/launch list or simply click the link in the description.